All right, on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline is Rob Pizzola. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors in one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Rob Pizzola is a professional sports gambler. He comes to us courtesy of the Hammer Betting Network. The Hammer produces daily sports betting content for every major North American sport. They are locked in on the big game Sunday. You can visit thehammer.bet. You can go to YouTube, search The Hammer HQ. You can follow Rob on Twitter at Rob Pizzola. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Mark.
And Crowder is in the motherland of gambling as we speak. Did you hit him over the head with your roulette skills?
I was just putting my chips up right here.
Look at that.
Hey, Aria's mad with me right now.
So you're on your roulette roll, man, huh?
Oh, I'm going now. Yeah, I done killed him.
Look at that. Well, okay, so I got a lot of stuff to go over with Pizzola and Super Bowl props, and we've got the Panthers. I'm at the Amerant Bank Arena. Crowder's in Vegas. Solana's in Miami. Rob is in Toronto. I defy anyone to put together international team coverage of major events in this fashion. I mean, this is pretty damn impressive. And it's Solana really that's running everything, which is even more impressive. Let me start with this hypothetical that we've talked about on the show. And I don't even think you were around when Solana and I had this conversation, Crowder. So you marinate on this for a second. Solana found this on Reddit. And I thought it was interesting to ask someone who's mathematically inclined when it comes to probabilities and wagering and all that stuff. You have a chance to flip a coin. If you get it right, one flip of a coin, if you get it right, you get $1 billion. If you get it wrong, you get hiccups, incurable hiccups for life. There is nothing that will make them go away. Or you do not have to flip the coin. You get both automatically.
$1 billion?
$1 billion, but incurable hiccups.
Yeah, that's part of this, where you can't use the $1 billion to hire a doctor to find a cure. Incurable.
And we did get a text from somebody who says, I had hiccups just a couple months ago for 6 days straight. You guys don't realize how awful it is. You cannot sleep. And I will tell you, I've bounced this off some people on text. It's there's a lot of ways you can approach it, but I thought maybe Pizzola can approach it mathematically in a way that we haven't seen.
So I love hypotheticals like this. This one is more challenging because typically you have like a coin flip for two different things that both are like involve money or monetary. And this one is very different because there's like a big time negative that comes with it. True story, personal experience of mine. When I was in 8th grade, I had a teacher that had the hiccups for 3.5 weeks. And I've never seen a person go from being as chipper as this guy was to miserable, to the point where students were concerned for his well-being over 3.5 weeks. There are Guinness World Records on this. It's much longer. But basically, I don't think that there's anyone that could live a full life with hiccups. It's insane to say something like that, but to Solana's point, like, you can't sleep, you can't function, you can't do normal things that you would typically do. Like, you can't even go to a movie theater because they would kick you out of there because, you're just like hiccuping the whole time.
There are lulls. There's lulls. It just happens to be random, though, when you get hiccups. You don't know if you're going to be in a lull.
Right. The value of money is also very different for different people, right? And the certain people, they live their lives to make money, to earn, and like that provides them with happiness. Certain people don't. They live out in the woods, for years on end, low key, want to stay off the grid and do whatever. So it's tough. There's not really like a mathematical way to solve this because you'd have to be able to put the negative value on the hiccups, and that's going to differ for every single person on earth. For me personally, I would not flip the coin.
So you'd guarantee yourself the hiccups?
No. You said I have an option of
no. If you don't flip the coin, you automatically get both.
Oh, so you have to flip it. You don't have an option of not doing this.
Correct. Your only chance to not have hiccups is to flip the coin, but then you have a 50-50 chance of getting the hiccups and no money.
But to me, all that money is not good with the hiccups. Do you know what I'm getting at?
So you'd flip the coin.
A billion with hiccups is not. Go ahead, Crowder. Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's a Drake line, more money, more problems, bring on the problems. I'll deal with these hiccups. For $1 billion, I will hiccup my way all the way on the private jets to go around the world.
I think that's the answer that most people would say, is like they would, I think the vast majority of people would say, give me the billion and the hiccups. That's what.
Rob, I apologize for interrupting. Did you just say "mo money, mo problems" is a Drake line?
Yeah, I caught that too, but I didn't want to throw him under the bus.
But that's a Biggie line. But Drake's line is "bring on the problems, bring on the problems, bring on the MFing problems." So it's like
I hate to do this to you in February. I just had to check you on it real quick. You know?
Yeah.
Bring on the problems.
Great line. That is a great line.
Bring on the problems. If more money equals more problems, give me the money and I'll deal with the problems.
Dr. Chuck Metzger is chiming in via text. Chronic hiccups would be brutal, would cause terrible nausea, would wear you out. But again, there's no way to avoid the possibility of having it. That's the hypothetical. There's literally no way to say, I don't want the money or the hiccups. It's either I'll take them both for sure, or I'll flip the coin 50-50. Do you bet the coin flip for the Super Bowl, Rob?
I do not.
Because there's no edge?
Well, yeah, it's not. And like you're getting charged a vig. Now, some sports books have started to make it plus 100 both sides so that there's no house edge. And in that case, I honestly don't think it's a bad idea to bet the coin flip. I call it for account preservation. If you bet that at like even money, you have no edge. You're just gambling at that point. But it kind of lets the sports book know that, this person might not be all that sharp if they're betting the coin flip, and maybe we won't limit their account. So there's reasons to do it. But aside from that, I'm not betting. I have in life many, many times, but I was a different bettor back in the day than I am now.
All right. Well, there you go. Think about the hypothetical, Crowder and Rob. At the end of the segment, I want an actual decision. Rob, do you have your decision? Well, I guess your decision is made, Rob. You would have to flip the coin because you don't want to live with hiccups. You have to at least have the 50% chance of not having hiccups.
I would flip the coin, yes.
Do you know what you would choose, heads or tails?
Tails never fails, Mark. We all know that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Interesting. So
that.
you always, if you're flipping a coin, you always go tails.
50% of the time, tails fails every time.
Is this text?
I had some other dummy text that in. Who the hell cares?
Because 700 million is different than $1 billion. Like, is this cash? Is this
is Uncle Sam coming to take his cut of this billion?
It's not.
No, you get the billion.
It's not different anyways, though. And, to Chuck's point, to Dr. Chuck's point, it'll wear you out. Well, I'd rather have the 750 million or the Billy to just live my life in the next 3 to 4 years to the absolute fullest. And then if I am worn out, well, at least I had 3 to good 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is one of the tougher hypotheticals I've ever heard.
It's pretty impossible.
Yeah.
Because there's a legitimate chance for an awful outcome.
I'm telling you, I've had this firsthand experience of seeing someone go through a lengthy bout of hiccups, and you get hiccups. Okay, they last 10 minutes, they're gone. You forget about them. That 10 minutes is it's not the best. You're a little bit annoyed.
Even that's annoying. Even that 10 minutes is annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine having that for almost a month, and I've seen it happen firsthand, and how someone's life can deteriorate just from hiccups. So. I mean, maybe that my experience is clouding my judgment a little bit, but I don't want
that. Imagine that you flip the coin, you end up with the hiccups. Think that the hiccups would drive you crazy. No, you would be thinking your entire life, I could have had this and $1 billion.
I know this is a family-friendly show. I don't want to get too dark here, but if the coin is landing hiccups, there's going to be an alternative option for me, and that's not going to be to live with the hiccups for the next 40 years. Yeah.
Interesting. So you are selecting non-self-preservation.
Correct.
On my private island, I have hiccups.
But who's there with you, Crowder?
not-
No one
it's
can
not
stand
that
you anymore.
But it's
No
not
one
even
can
that you're
deal with you.
bothering anyone. It's
Rob,
what
my
it does
wife
to you
doesn't. My wife doesn't
internally.
like me right now. Hiccups aren't going to change it.
Could we do anything, any kind of coin flip to get rid of your phlegm? I wonder if there's some sort of hypothetical that we could do that.
Man, I was hanging out with Marshawn Lynch all last night. It was a long one.
I can
Yeah.
understand. There's probably plenty of activity in your lungs. It's trying to work its way out. That would be my guess.
Bring
Excuse
on
me,
the
sir.
problems.
You can't gamble Skittles at the table here.
They hate me, Rob. The Oreo right now hates me.